Good evening, guys. Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking about our Renew shampoo. All right, I'm going to be discussing Monat's Renew shampoo. Okay, so before I get started, I kind of want to go over a disclaimer. All right, so we as a company, Monat in general, says no to toxic ingredients. Okay, so we're going to be saying no. It says on our bottle right back here that it says we say no to toxic ingredients. Does not contain phthalates, PEG, DA, MEA, sulfates, parabens, harsh salt systems, harmful colors, harmful fragrances. We're cruelty free. We're 100% vegan. We are Leaping Bunny certified. We follow the European standards. We follow obviously the FDA, all of those things. Okay, so there are things which I want to go over because I am not about to, I want to just disclaimer everything. First off, I am not a complete biochemist, right? I'm not a scientist that formulates these products, okay? I am just a person who loves science. I love diving deep and I love asking the questions. Well, why? Why not? Why can't we use this? So I've gone over actually all of the toxic ingredients that Monat says no to. They're in my highlight bubbles. You can check them all out. And I've explained different things. So typically when we see all of these ingredients on the back of the bottle, which you can see all these ingredients, right? Okay. And if you have a bottle of anything, you're going to see scientific nomenclature on the back, okay? A lot of times it's easy to just pull it out and be like, oh, okay, well, this is, like, for instance, this is a tomato seed oil instead of Solanum lycopodium seed oil. It's tomato seed oil, right? But there's scientific nomenclature with all of it. So people don't bat an eye whenever they say aloe vera or witch hazel or rosemary, but we see a scientific name on there and people start to freak out and get a little nervous. So what my point is I'm going to be going in, breaking down each of these long names and at least telling you where they're derived, what they're used for, and at least trying to show that they're not as scary as they look, okay? And also to prove the fact that, hey, this is what we say no to, it's not in here. Now, before I go into exactly what everything is, I do need to talk about how chemicals are not all created equal, okay? So I've gotten multiple people that ask me, they're like, I have customers or I have friends or I want to know that you guys say no to silicones. I've seen that you guys say no to silicones and you talk about not having products with silicones in them. But I see a name on there that looks like a silicone. Okay, and I'm going to get into that, all right? So I'm going to use an analogy where I feel like if I were to say soda, okay? That can mean a lot of things, right? Pepsi products, Coke products. I could even go as far as saying like different kombuchas because it's like a carbonated beverage. Could be a soda or a pop, right? But that does not mean that they're all created equal, right? We've got sodas with artificial flavoring. We've got sodas that are sugar-free. We've got sodas that have aspartame. We have sodas that don't. We have sodas that are made from more natural ingredients. We have infused sodas like tonic waters. We have so many different broad views of soda. So when I say soda, that does not necessarily mean that all is created equal. So when I go in and I say that silicones or PEGs, or there are different kinds that are derived differently, they're formulated differently, and not all of them are bad, okay? So if you look on our website, we're gonna say no to cyclic silicones, okay? And I've gone over that in my highlight bubbles. I've broken down exactly what that means. So not all silicones are bad, okay? Some silicones, and I'm gonna go over exactly what silicone is in here. So yes, I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna be like, yeah, there is a silicone in here. Is it a bad silicone? No. Okay, so when we say no to silicones, we're talking about the average silicones that the whole, just on average, the industry uses, right? It's synthetic, it's plastic, they are cyclic silicones, which means that they are hard to break down and they're really bad for our environment, okay? Not only that, they suffocate our hair and our scalp. So before I get into the ingredients, I just want you to remember that, like I said, like soda, not everything is created equal, okay? We have soda. I can make soda, okay? I can make a carbonated beverage I'm going to use kombucha again just because I have actually made it. So, so you're going to take a live culture, okay? It's actually like water kefir, and you're going to allow it to ferment. And the fermentation is going to cause bubbles and carbon dioxide and carbonation, okay? So that is a natural form of a soda, right? And then I'm gonna go over here and have my soda stream. All right, I'm gonna take like a soda stream thing like that you can get from Walmart, right? You put the little canister of the CO2 in there, you plug it in, you push a button and add as much bubbles as you want into it, right? Both are carbonated beverages. One is synthetic, one is natural, okay? Not all are created equal. So we need to keep that in mind and have an open mind when science comes in, because science is deep, you guys. Science is so deep. Like, it is so beyond a lot of everybody's knowledge, right? Okay, it's so deep. We have to have so many scientific like names and figures, and it gets to where it's like it literally is just gibberish to the majority of us. But for the people who are formulating our products, it is literally a roadmap of how to get the most pure, natural, most close to the natural derivative as possible. And sometimes that means deriving it in a synthetic way, but it is exactly mimicking the natural feature. So I just want you to remember that there are going to be things that I'm going to say silicone. I'm going to say synthetic. I am going to say, I'm going to talk about PEGs. You know, I'm going to be talking about different things here. Not all are created equal, and I still stand behind that the derivatives that they use of those are as natural as possible and have no proof that they are negative for us or the environment. So I still stand beside what we say. I still stand beside all of that, okay? So I don't want anybody to come and be like, oh, you're so biased, and you just like, it could be really easy for me to just say, oh yeah, like this is just like capryl glycol, whatever, and that's what we use it for, and skip over the fact that, you know, it's an alcohol, okay? Not all alcohols are bad. So, okay, end of my rant. I needed to get that off of my chest, okay? Because this is gonna get deep, all right? So, Renew Shampoo is a wonderful product. It is a wonderful shampoo that we typically is one of the first shampoos that you can get. It's volumizing, it's hydrating, it's very clarifying. It is probably one of our more sold shampoos, okay? The first ingredient is H2O, easy, water. Our products are about 30% water, okay? And then the rest is all the, if you want to call them active ingredients, the rest is the active ingredients. So for comparison, your other shampoo that you might have, that might be a big bottle, typically is 60% water with about 40% of active ingredients. So it's very diluted. So when you use our products, you use a very small amount, about a quarter size. You emulsify it, you move it around because you want to get everything all active and working, and it's going to work. It's going to work so good, okay? And you're going to use less product, okay? So the first ingredient that after water is lauramidopropyl. Okay, lauramidopropyl, Baytime. All right. Okay, so it's a mixture of closely related organic compounds like fatty acids that are derived from coconut oil. All right. So they've found out that this ingredient is not like this sting the eyes. It makes like fine bubble foam. So some people are worried, okay, well, you don't have the foaming agents in here. We found foaming agents, okay? So it's gonna foam, it's gonna bubble. It's made from the reaction of two organic compounds, dimethylamine and acryl nitrile, okay? And then it's reduced, okay, through a hydrogenation step. See these words, okay? And that's what's gonna get you what they name as a DMAPA, which is a dimethylamine propylene, okay? Propylamine. Like I said, naturally derived from a renewable vegetable source or plant source. This one's probably derived from coconut oil. And it's biodegradable. It's a surfactant, it's a detergent. It's gonna help, it's soluble in water, so it's gonna help grab the oils and separate them from the water and the dirt, and it's gonna help slough off the dirt, okay? And it is actually good for hard water too. So I grew up on a well system, and so we had hard water. And so this is a good one for if you have hard water, because that stuff can build up over time, okay? So it's an anti-static agent, it's hair conditioning agent, skin conditioning, and it's gonna help with the foam, okay? So the next ingredient that I'm gonna talk about is sodium C1416 olefin sulfonate. Okay, like I said, these names are crazy, okay? So I could just stop there, but I am going to tell you that it is an anionic surfactant, okay? So it's a detergent. It's going to get the oil in the water. It's going to separate the oil. It's going to pull out the oil. It is a mixture of long-chain sulfonate salts derived from coconut and produces great foam, okay? So it's going to be derived from a coconut. It's going to be like a salt that comes out of it. Sulfonate is not sulfate, okay? We need to remember that they're different. That sulfonates is a sulfate branched directly to a carbon chain, okay? So we're gonna have a whole bunch of carbons, carbon, 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 and we're gonna have a sulfate off of one, okay? So that is a sulfonate. A sulfate is a sulfate, well, I don't have a sulfate, bonded to an oxygen, okay? And then branch down to a carbon chain, okay? So there is a key ingredient in there, oxygen, that is gonna separate a sulfonate and a sulfate, okay? So some people are like, oh, well, that looks like a sulfate name, okay? Nope, it's a sulfonate. They differ by the linkage of the sulfur atom, okay? It can be known, like I said, I'm gonna like tell everything. So it can be known to dry things out, okay? That's the other thing though, is we are not just adding one ingredient, okay? So like whenever there's an ingredient that says, oh, it can be known to dry things out, we have 16 essential oils that are in here, okay? And not at a small, like they are right in the middle of all the ingredients. So it is like good concentration of our Rejuvenate oil. So when you mix some of these things together, it's gonna cancel out some of the negative things. So when you read up on some of these ingredients, you're like, oh, well, that says negative, well, it's gonna dry it out. No, that's if you use it by itself, okay? So you really have to remember that we're mixing it with lots of different things. So I do wanna say that it can be known for a dry scalp, but that's why we add in Rejuvenate to cancel that out, okay? And other surfactants, so that's like, this is surfactant number 2, okay? The first one was a surfactant. When other surfactants are added, it minimizes the drying possibility, okay? So it's great for cleansing and clarifying to remove dirt and buildup. So like I said, a very good clarifying first shampoo to grab whenever you're starting Monat. All right, the next ingredient is sodium methyl cocoa taurate. It's a naturally derived surfactant, derived again from coconuts, okay? Coconuts are amazing, all right? Like, they're legit, guys, all right? It's gentle but effective foaming agent that research has shown to be a non-irritant, okay? This is the SLS substitute. Again, if you're wondering what those things are, I have them all in my highlight bubbles. You can go and check them all out, okay? So this is what is going to be the substitute for the SLSs in here, okay? So it's just the salts of the coconut, and it's going to be a fatty acid amide. All right, so for my science people, that'll make sense. For anybody else, it smells from a coconut. Okay, it's the salt from a coconut. All right, and it's going to be a surfactant. It's going to be a detergent. It's going to help break away that oil in the dirt. The next one is sodium cocamphosphate. Okay, these names, they get harder. This is easy right now. It's coconut oil derived surfactant. Again, another surfactant. So when we mix a lot of different surfactants, it's going to get rid of negative, if there is any negative. These other ones I haven't seen to be any irritation at all. But this one is going to be another foam booster and a conditioning agent. So this one is going to start adding in some conditioning. So we're going to deep clean, scrub, and then we're going to start adding some conditioning agents, okay? It's typically used in face cleansers, shave creams, and shave creams due to its gentleness, and it adds slip to the formula. It's used for sensitive skin and even in baby and children products, okay? All right, I'm gonna jump in just a minute and add some more in video number